Hello, my name is Zachary Leinberger. In this presentation, I will go over what your students would experience by taking lessons in my private euphonium studio. I will start by letting you know who will be teaching your students. I am currently a euphonium performance major at Kansas State University. Kansas State University is one of the highest level undergraduate programs in the country. At KSU, I play in multiple high-level ensembles. These include the wind ensemble, which is the highest level band at the university, the tuba and euphonium ensemble, and the tuba and euphonium quartet. The tuba and euphonium ensemble recently had the privilege of performing at the International Tuba and Euphonium Conference in Iowa this past summer, and the tuba and euphonium quartet has placed at many high-level competitions, including the Southeastern Regional Tuba and Euphonium Conference Quartet Competition in 2018, in which they placed third. Throughout my career, I have been able to learn from many great teachers. At KSU, I am under the private instruction of Dr. Paul Dickinson and Professor Jason Casanova, both of whom are highly sought-after teachers throughout the Southeast. I also learned from Dr. David Keeler, who is the director of bands and the wind ensemble at Kansas State. Through these teachers, I have developed high-level abilities as a euphonium player and musician that I wish to pass on to your students. I have a strong belief in teaching the fundamental skills of the euphonium. I also want to help students build a love and appreciation for music through the euphonium. I have a very concrete way I choose to approach lessons. Regardless of skill level, I like to start by teaching fundamentals. I believe having a strong base of fundamental skills is vital for euphonium players. Having sound fundamentals not only makes music easier to play, but also makes music more enjoyable to play. I like for students to use method books. Method books can have useful fundamental exercises and etudes that students can apply to their skills. As students can learn their fundamentals, I will ease them into learning pieces of music, starting with etudes. On this page, I have listed a few method books that I like to suggest to my students. For beginners, I like to start with the Essential Elements for Band and the Rubank Elementary Method and Intermediate Method. Both of these books are very standard books for young euphonium players to learn from, and I also learned from them when I was a young euphonium player. For more advanced students, I like to recommend the Melodious Etudes for Trombone, Book 1, the 40 Progressive Studies for the Trombone, and the Arbin Complete Method for Trombone and Euphonium. The Arbin Complete Method is a more expensive book, but is also a much larger book with a lot more exercises. A lot of collegiate and professional euphonium players continue to use this book throughout their career, so I highly recommend that any euphonium player purchase this book throughout sometime in their career. All the books listed on this page are not required for my lessons, but I highly recommend that students purchase them so they can continue to learn outside of lesson time. If students are not able to purchase these books, I will be able to provide copies of etudes and exercises during lessons. On this page, I have listed a couple of lesson prices and times. For 1-hour lessons, I charge $25, and for 30-minute lessons, I charge $15. Lesson times are flexible for myself. I am mostly consistent on the weekends, so this would be the best time to schedule lessons, but I can also find time during the weekdays to have lessons. Lesson times are more dependent on the schedules of the students, so I'm very willing to communicate with the students and parents on what times they need to have lessons to accommodate to their own schedules. On this page, I've listed a couple of lesson locations. I find that the best locations for our students is to have lessons at their own schools. This will have to come at the approval of the band director, but it's a very common thing for lesson teachers to host lessons at the schools of the students. It is a lot easier for travel for the students, so I highly recommend this location. I'm also able to host lessons at the Kansas State University Wilson Annex practice rooms. I have full access to them and they are great for lessons. I'm also able to host lessons in the Jennings Music and Education Center in Marietta, Georgia. On this page, I've listed my contact information. The easiest way to contact me is through my email. I've listed both my personal email and my school email. My personal email is my most accessible, but I've checked both emails every day. I've also listed my phone number. It is not as consistent to contact me through my phone number, but if needed, it is listed on this page, and I will answer. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation. If you have any more questions, please refer to the contact information on this page, and I look forward to teaching your students in the future.